It seems that your country has suspended all traveling privileges on passports that have been issued by your government.
You ever feel like you're just living in an airport?
In The Terminal, Tom Hanks plays an Eastern European visitor marooned at a New York airport. This is a storyline based in fact, not fiction. Well, tonight you will meet the man who inspired this new romantic comedy, and his real-life story is far from funny.
I can't do this. I can't really function here.
He's obsessive, he's compulsive, he's Adrian Monk, the endearing phobic TV detective played by actor Tony Shalhoub. We put him under our spotlight to see if a show about a gumshoe afraid of everything except solving a case still has an edge. I'm A.J. Hammer, and I've got those stories, plus the latest crime and justice entertainment buzz right here and only here, right now on Hollywood Heat. First up, so Tom Hanks says to Steven Spielberg, we should go to the Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. Try to find the guy who inspired our latest movie, The Terminal. Buy him a cup of coffee. Well, that conversation was reported by USA Today. Hollywood Heat has beaten Hanks and Spielberg to the punch. We found the mysterious man who's been waiting at the airport in Paris for a decade and a half now. But as Vinnie Politan reports, the real-life Terminal does not have a Hollywood ending.
I have a bit of bad news. It seems that your country has suspended all traveling privileges on passports that have been issued by your government.
Beyond those doors is American soil. You are not to leave this building.
It seems that while you were in the air, there was a military coup in your country.
Are you headed for home?
No, I am delayed long time.
And the new government has sealed all the borders, which means that your passport and visa are no longer valid. So currently, you are a citizen of nowhere.
You ever feel like you're just living in an airport?
Flight 101 for London. Depart from gate 15.
The real story on which The Terminal is loosely based is not nearly as funny, romantic, or hopeful as the big screen version starring Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, Victor!
Amelia.
Hi. Hello.
No, the real-life story of a man named Merhan Nassari is truly terminal in the most tragic sense of the word.
I had no travel document and no passport.
Merhan Nassari has been here inside Charles de Gaulle Airport near Paris for 15 years. Yep, 15 years at the airport without ever setting foot outside.
I have no bathroom, but I have to keep clean. So I find a new solution without bathroom, how to clean.
Nassari tells Hollywood Heat that after he landed here in Paris way back in 1988, someone stole his Iranian passport and ID. From there, a combination of bureaucratic limbo and then his own strange refusal to sign refugee papers has led to his now self-imposed confinement here inside this airport on this bench surrounded by his stuff.
I cannot leave my place.
And like
so much object I have, I cannot live unattended.
Nassari's only breaks from his home are trips to the bathroom and the food court.
Normally I eat at McDonald's. For 5 years I have got something to eat from McDonald's.
Nassari has plenty of time to read, so he knows all about Steven Spielberg's new movie based on his life.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Burger King. May I take your order?
In fact, Nassari says DreamWorks has paid him a few $100,000 for the rights to his story.
I think it's not enough.
The studio confirms an agreement was signed.
Next! Next!
Nassari approves of who Spielberg cast to play him in the movie.
Tom Hanks is the best choice.
But while Hanks' character bumbles and charms his way around the terminal, Nassari's real life inside Charles de Gaulle Airport is bleak and lonely.
Really, I have no friends.
And certainly no friends like the one Tom Hanks' character meets and falls in love with in the movie.
Amelia, I'm just curious. You are the kind of woman who can get any guy she wants. Why Victor Navorsky?
That's something a guy like you could never understand.
Victor is in a position where he says, hey, one of the best things that ever happened to me was I got stuck in an airport for a while because then I got to meet this lady.
When I read the script, It made me laugh. It made me cry. It touched me.
The overwhelming sense of being trapped with apparently no way out is shared both by the real-life individual who inspired the terminal and the character who plays his role.
In a way, I feel a little bit like Victor. I think all of us will feel, and have felt in our lives a bit like Victor.
But Victor gets the girl and gets out of the airport. While Mirhan Nassari continues to sit at Charles de Gaulle Airport, where he's been since Ronald Reagan was president, now a prisoner of his own puzzling procrastinating as much as of anything a bureaucracy could ever create.
Nassari has an attorney who's quoted as saying his client is legally free to leave the airport as long as he signs identity papers the French government has offered him. Well, so far, Nassari won't sign. As for whether Nassari will ever get to see the terminal on the big screen, there are no movie theaters at Charles de Gaulle Airport. Well, some movie theaters in this country are about to show a film that's been called everything from a journalistic masterpiece to pure liberal propaganda. Michael Moore's new documentary headlines what's hot in crime and justice entertainment this weekend.
You can make people do anything if they're afraid.
Fahrenheit 9/11 blazes its way into theaters this weekend.
Trying to get members of Congress to get their kids to enlist in the Army and go over to Iraq.
Michael Moore's anti-Bush documentary has already won the top prize at the Cannes Film Festival and raised a few temperatures in Washington. Now it brings its message to the masses.
Members of Congress, this is Michael Moore. I would like to read to you the USA Patriot Act.
The film attacks President Bush's rationale for the war in Iraq, while accusing his administration of manipulating the September 11th terror attacks and fostering fear for political gain.
I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
A lot of presidential memoirs, they say, are dull and self-serving. I hope mine is interesting and self-serving.
My Life, former President Bill Clinton's tell-all memoirs, took bookstores by storm this week. The 957-page book chronicles the 42nd president's rise to power in Arkansas and his 2 terms in office.
I take on a lot of water for not just the personal, but also the political errors I think I made.
My Life is already estimated to have set a single-day nonfiction sales record of over 400,000 books sold nationwide.
Mr. Clinton, did you grab and grope Paula Jones?
And if you can't get enough of the former commander-in-chief, a revealing new documentary, The Hunting of the President, arrives in theaters this weekend.
From the highest courts in America to the most elite newspapers in America, they were all wrong. And they were swept up in an era of madness, and they were used as tools of hatred.
Narrated by actor Morgan Freeman, the film uses previously unreleased materials to outline the smear campaign launched against Clinton from his days in Arkansas to his impeachment trial.
Many of us have done stupid things in our lives. None of us have had $80 million spent to try to see what all these stupid things were.
Think you can tell if she was really a he?
If I wasn't a woman, would I go to all this trouble to look this good?
Find out on an all-new episode of Fake Out, Friday at 11 p.m. on Court TV.
I need you to tell me the truth.
Contestants must use wit and skill to determine if opponents are lying and go head-to-head with interrogation expert Jack Tremarco for a chance to win $20,000.
The evidence, as always, will speak for itself.
The first season of the hit CSI spin-off CSI Miami comes to DVD this week. David Caruso stars as Horatio Kane, a former homicide detective who now leads a team of forensic investigators as they sift through clues to solve Miami's most baffling murders.
I will get out. It's my nature.
And I'll be waiting. That's my nature. He is a gentleman. He's a kind man. But he's the last man in America that you want after you.
The 7-disc box set includes all 25 episodes from the first season, as well as an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the making of the series.
There's no way to fake an understanding of what we're doing. We really need to know and have a grasp of what we're doing.
The CSI franchise is so popular that CBS is adding a third spin-off. CSI New York, starring Gary Sinise, premieres this fall. Well, up next, the latest celebrity legal news in our smoking gun hot sheet. Britney Spears is singing the blues over a traffic accident that could get her and her mom into some legal hot water. And a hip-hop website is painting a pretty unflattering picture of rapper Jay-Z. We've got those stories and a lot more when Hollywood Heat returns.
I'm a crime scene reconstructionist. Many people get killed. I have a professional obligation to speak for them. Somebody have to care about them.
Trace Evidence, the case files of Dr. Henry Lee, this Wednesday at 10, right here on Court TV.
Here comes a breakthrough in hair color. Gentle new natural instincts. The less risk, more reward hair color. A new fresh color formula helps kick out damage as it kicks up the shine. Forget ammonia. Forget roots. Think pure aloe, chamomile, and ginseng. With new natural instincts, your hair looks even shinier and healthier than before you colored it.
You'll never be chicken to color your hair again.
New natural instincts from Clairol.
Less risk, more reward.
Less damage, more color wonderful.
Wherever wheels are rolling, spinning proud and bold, the name that's known is Firestone, where the rubber meets the road.
Yuck! He's just tasted milk that's been in a fridge without a fresh Arm & Hammer spill-proof fridge and freezer box.
A fresh box keeps milk tasting like it should.
Yum! Keeps lunch boxes fresh between uses, too.
The difference between yuck and yum.
Laxatives like that can cause cramps. Huh? Try new Phillips Caplet.
What's the difference?
Phillips effectively relieves constipation overnight without cramps because it's stimulant-free.
I'm switching to Phillips.
Phillips, effective relief, cramp-free.
Are you at risk for DVT, a blood clot in your legs? If illness or surgery has you off your feet, you may be. In most cases, DVT can be prevented. Ask your doctor and call for a free risk awareness kit. Now, one skillet, a box of Banquet home-style bakes, and 20 minutes is all you need to make your family a delicious home-cooked meal everybody will love. Banquet home-style bakes. Oven or skillet, it's today's homemade. Introducing new Purina Dog Chow. It's a new way to think about nutrition. Dog Chow surrounds your dog's needs with powerful nutrition that builds the digestive system, replenishes vital organs, and repairs muscle cells. Very new Purina Dog Chow.
When it comes to sordid celebrity sex scandals, this may be the perfect storm. A TV star's divorce from a U.S. Senate candidate erupting in a blast of lurid charges. Ryan versus Ryan kicks off this week's Smoking Gun Hot Sheet. DIVORCE spells mud fighting for Boston public actress Jeri Ryan and her ex-husband, Illinois U.S. Senate candidate Jack Ryan. Ryan is now trying to clean himself up following the release of divorce papers dishing out major dirt about him. According to those damaging divorce documents, Jack Ryan tried to get ex-wife Jeri to have sex with him in front of strangers at raunchy clubs in New York, Paris, and New Orleans. Jeri Ryan stated she got physically sick over the demands for sex in public, the whole thing leading to the breakup of their marriage, she said. Jack Ryan's Illinois Senate campaign is now a mess because of the revelation. I mean, try explaining that kind of sex to Republican voters.
The Republicans are kind of the family values party, and this is not going to sit well, knowing that this was going on in clubs with whips and chains hanging on the wall.
The divorce documents date back 4 years. Now the actress is saying, quote, in response to the rumors that have been circulating, there was never any physical abuse in our marriage. I have no doubt that Jack will make an excellent senator. Rapper Jay-Z apparently doesn't like cameras and seems to take it out on a woman who pointed one at him 5 years ago. This disturbing video released on a DVD of a documentary done on Jay-Z and now exposed on a website called hiphopdx.com. A spokesman for Jay-Z tells Rush and Malloy in the New York Daily News, quote, that footage was taken completely out of context. They were just horsing around.
You're going to find a group of performers that hold women in high esteem. It's rappers, so the idea that one of them would kind of, slap someone is a shock.
Speaking of injuries suffered while carrying a camera, Britney Spears' mom has reportedly mowed down a photographer. While Mrs. Spears, Britney, and another daughter were out shopping for a puppy in Santa Monica. The photog was reportedly hit when Spears' mom backed up when their car was surrounded by camera guys. A spokesman for Spears tells the Daily News, quote, if anyone was accidentally injured, it was caused by their own misconduct.
Ever since Diana died, paparazzi are sort of a very convenient target, but there's sort of this relationship where they play off each other. Without the paparazzi, Britney Spears you know, who cares?
A published report claims the photographer suffered a broken ankle. No charges have been filed against Spears' mom. Boxer and earbiter Mike Tyson want to fight again in New Jersey, but the governor of the Garden State wants no part of Tyson's wild act. The bad boy boxer actually got a license to do his thing in New Jersey, but the governor now says he'll do everything he can to stop Tyson, including barring him from state-owned facilities and asking the state board that gave Tyson the boxing license to reconsider.
He's still welcome to fight on the street corners of New Jersey, and then the police will step in. He's just not, you know, welcome to fight where they're going to be selling tickets for him to do it.
But Tyson tells the New York Sun he's now broke and homeless, that the $300 million he's made over his career is all gone. Tyson says his fight in New Jersey is his last chance to salvage his life. For more celebrity legal news, you can always log on to thesmokinggun.com. Don't tune out. I've got a lot more to tell you about, like the latest on the hit crime justice series, Monk.
Adrian Monk is he's sort of a super sleuth.
The show is kicking off a new season, so we investigate if America's favorite detective still has staying power. Then later in our Big Deal segment, actress Diane Keaton's got a big crime up her sleeve in her next movie. We've got the details next on Hollywood Heat.
And it's all real. Cops in Texas. Tonight, starting at 8 on Court TV.
We changed to a low-carb lifestyle, and we love it.
But I worried we were missing something from our diet.
So we changed our multivitamin, too.
Introducing One-A-Day Carb Smart, a complete multivitamin with more biotin, an important nutrient that helps your body break down the extra fats and proteins you're eating. Plus, higher levels of key nutrients you may be missing when you change to a low-carb lifestyle.
It just seemed smart.
One-A-Day Carb Smart, the multivitamin with more for your low-carb lifestyle.
When I pull something off the grill, I want it big, I want it plump, I want it girthy. In fact, girthy is one of my favorite words. I like the way it rolls off my tongue. Girthy. Now this Grillmaster dog right here, that's what I call girthy. Girthy. Girthy is good.
Ballpark Grillmaster Franks. Be big, be meaty, be frank.
Girthy.
It's incredible news, and we just can't keep it bottled up. Listerine's as effective as floss. Clinical studies prove it. So even if you don't floss like you should, now you can get its healthy benefits from simply rinsing. Listerine kills the germs that cause plaque, even between teeth. So it's as effective as floss, and it's so easy. Listerine, as easy as rinsing, as effective as flossing.
The Handy Pack from Kleenex, for whatever life throws your way. Thank goodness for Kleenex tissues.
When you have adult attention deficit disorder, it's hard to focus on even simple things.
Nails are down. Everyone's focused to do it.
If your concentration drifts in and out, please visit our website, adultadd.com, to find out more about adult ADD, a condition your doctor can diagnose and treat.
Perfect color.
Adult ADD could be why it's so hard to sit still, or remember appointments or obligations, or why you feel distracted, disorganized, unable to finish things.
Paying attention!
Like the channel keeps changing in your mind and you can't control the remote.
You okay?
If you or someone you care about has felt these symptoms their whole life,
You guys have any thoughts? What about you?
take the first step. Visit adultadd.com and answer 6 simple questions. Then discuss the results with your doctor. You may finally find the explanation you've been looking for all your life.
spotlight tonight, actor Tony Shalhoub and Monk. For the last 2 years, the popular character actor has been headlining USA Network's hit crime series, all about a brilliant but flawed detective. Well, now, as the show kicks off its 3rd season, we ask, does Monk still have its quirky edge? Court TV's Gene Casares went to one of our experts for an answer.
Tony Shalhoub's defective detective series Monk is a true original.
People, when they first saw Monk, were charmed by the fact that you have a TV detective who had something of a personality beyond something very superficial.
In a cop genre crowded with procedural dramas like CSI and Law and Order, Monk is all about its lead character and the offbeat and downright strange way this police consultant solves cases.
Is he okay?
You see, Monk suffers from obsessive-compulsive disorder, a condition made worse by his wife's mysterious murder.
His obsessive-compulsive symptoms just rose to the surface and rendered him somewhat dysfunctional, so he was let go from the force.
Now the ex-San Francisco police officer has a problem with germs, disorder, crowds, loud noises, you name it. It's that kind of peculiar behavior that makes Monk so charmingly unpredictable. But is that the case this season?
It's getting a little tired. We know his tics. We know how he's going to start to twitch and blink and freak out when he sees something that he doesn't want to have to deal with.
The show's writers might be guilty of overplaying the character's faults while not giving the audience enough of what they're tuning in to see.
Monk's become too quirky and lost sight of what people who love crime dramas are about, which is solving the crime of the week.
In the first episode, the entire cast travels across country from San Francisco to New York City because of a lead in Mrs. Monk's murder.
So let's dazzle them here. That way they'll always want to remember we're here for Trudy.
Every other episode or so, another piece of that puzzle gets put into place. So eventually he'll figure out what happened there, so he can sort of have closure on that and move on.
Of course, there will be a local murder, and New York City, with its crowded subways and endless traffic, will push Monk into sensory overload.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You'd think that the city would provide the perfect backdrop for a character like Monk. Well, not quite.
They're tipping too much towards the mania that Monk has. There's a scene in the first episode where he's trying to talk to one of his crime guys on the street, and there are jackhammers going off in the background. Monk's dying to tell him something, but the jackhammer keeps going off, and Monk keeps freaking out. And the scene goes on for like 3 or 4 minutes because Monk can't stand the noise. It's just like, you know what? I want to know what the clue is. I want to know what he has to say. I want to at least get involved in the crime.
So was moving the cast to a new location to infuse a bit of life into the 3-year-old series a big mistake?
Clearly, it seems that they're going back to San Francisco. It was a 1-episode thing. It's hardly like the Brady Bunch going to Hawaii where you can't stand it anymore.
Taking risks in an already innovative series like Monk is a positive move. There are no other obsessive-compulsive crime solvers on television. And even Tony Shalhoub says Monk's knack for noticing even the smallest detail out of place is what makes him a great detective.
The ambassador's coat, it's damp. He has a tendency to fixate on certain things. He sees the world differently than regular people.
And the other coats are dry. We missed that.
So, despite the missteps of the season premiere, Monk is still the most quirky detective series on television, as long as the show remains true to its original formula.
They need the show to have great crimes every week and have this guy solve the crime in his unique, one-of-a-kind, endearing way. They need to not lose sight of the story while giving you the guy's true character and not push it over the top.
I rode on the subway.
Change?
Yes, I think I did.
Things are off to a good start. Last week's premiere of Monk was the show's best opener yet. It pulled in 5.5 million viewers. And if you want to see more of Monk and Tony Shalhoub, who also, by the way, executive produces the show, Season 1 of the series is now out on DVD. Well, when Hollywood Heat returns, I'm going to get you up to speed on the hottest crime and justice entertainment deals that are going down. Like news that director Quentin Tarantino is dying to remake a classic spy movie, but it just may be a tough sell. The lowdown on that coming up next.
Next
There's Trouble in Tinseltown.
We're talking about a very, very sick boy.
An up-close look at the stars who are so good at being bad.
He just went crazy.
Hollywood Justice, coming up next, right here on Court TV, the investigation channel.
We try to protect ourselves from the elements, from harm. And if you have diabetes, from temptation as well. And since diabetes puts you at high risk for heart attack and stroke, it's important to talk to your doctor about ways to help protect your heart. The Heart Protection Study by Oxford University researched Zocor. Zocor, along with diet, is the only cholesterol medication proven to significantly reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke in people with diabetes, regardless of cholesterol level. Zocor is a prescription medicine and is not for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems. Because serious side effects can result, tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience and about any medicines you are taking. If you have diabetes, get information about the Heart Protection Study and Zocor, and ask your doctor how Zocor can help protect you. It's your future. Be there.
Every time you smoke a cigarette, you're taking 7 to 11 minutes off your life. For the typical smoker, that can be as much as 10 years. You're nearly twice as likely to die of heart disease and almost 3 times more likely to die of cancer. By the age of 45, your lung function has already declined at 3 times the normal rate. If you're ready to quit smoking, we can help. We're the makers of Smoke Away, a doctor-recommended program developed to eliminate your cravings and have you smoke-free in just 7 days. It's all natural and nicotine-free. And best of all, it's guaranteed to work or your money back. Call us today. Thousands have already quit using Smoke Away. Shouldn't you?
I know it worked the first day for me. I quit overnight.
The first time I used it, I felt the cravings just go away.
Call 1-800-297-1959. That's 1-800-297-1959.
For the last 100 years and counting, there's no place like Lowe's.
Well, it looks like director Quentin Tarantino has espionage, race cars, and martinis, shaken not stirred, of course, on his mind. I've got the inside scoop on that piece of crime and justice entertainment news, along with other industry buzz in this week's Big Deals. Quentin Tarantino wants to get his hands on Bond, James Bond. Tarantino says he'd love to direct a remake of Casino Royale, starring Pierce Brosnan in his final Bond role. Tarantino wants to make Casino Royale a low-budget film focusing on plot over action, but admits it won't be easy convincing Bond's producers to go along with his idea. Meanwhile, Kill Bill 2 is making a killing, and Tarantino's already talking about a third. Diane Keaton, meanwhile, is planning on robbing the Federal Reserve. In a new movie, of course. Mad Money is the title, and Keaton is one of 3 female janitors who pull off the huge heist. Mad Money is set to be directed by the Academy Award-winning screenplay writer of Thelma and Louise. And they're finally going to make a movie about disgraced baseball legend Pete Rose. Starring as Rose, actor Tom Sizemore, who spent 6 months in jail last year for beating former Madam Heidi Fleiss. The movie about Pete Rose, entitled Hustle, is scheduled to air in September on ESPN. Acclaimed Hollywood director Peter Bogdanovich is directing Hustle. Well, that's it for this week, but here's a story we're working on for you, and you'll see it only here on Hollywood Heat.
No. Tell your wife you're all right.
An executive's perfect life turns into a living nightmare in The Clearing. It's a new kidnapping movie starring Robert Redford and Willem Dafoe. We'll take a look at some real-life executive kidnappings. And if there's ever a story you'd like to see on our show, or if you'd like to give us some feedback, you can email us at hollywoodheat@courttv.com. And for now, we leave you with another clip from the new movie, The Terminal, starring Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'm A.J. Hammer, and thanks for watching Hollywood Heat here on Court TV, the only network that can do Hollywood justice.
Next. Let me ask you something, Mr. Nowinski. Why do you wait here 2 hours every day when I've told you there's nothing I can do for you? That your new visa will not arrive until your country is recognized by the United States.
You have two stamps. One red, one green.
So?
So, I have chance go New York 50-50.